there we go. How exciting. I can't wait. Now, though, meet Tasmania's newest city councillor. It's as much of a surprise to him as it is to us. Gideon Cordover's just joined Kingborough Council as a result of a countback after Richard Atkinson resigned. G'day, Gideon.
Good morning.
Now, I know Gideon as an actor from, sort of 78 years ago. What's been happening in your career since then?
Well, since then, so originally I studied acting in NIDA and then I was a professional actor for about 5 years. So you last spoke with me when I was doing a show with my brother, who's a classical guitarist, and we were touring that show around. Since then, I've been working for the Heart Foundation and Anglicare's Social Action Research Centre.
Yep.
And also the Tasmanian Greens. And now I'm on council.
Why do you want to be on council? Because how old are you? Do you mind me asking? How old
I don't mind. I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
Just turned 30.
So this has got to be one of the youngest councils in Tassie now.
It is, I believe. And why I want to be on council is because it's a terrific opportunity. It's a huge responsibility and a huge privilege to sit in that chamber. Local council is really where the rubber hits the road for community engagement. It's basically the closest that you can be to really impacting people's lives in a positive way and making your local community a better place. So that's why I was wanted to get on board. And I think I'm a curious person. I want to see how things work and I want to improve things. So looking around the neighbourhood and looking around my community, there's plenty of things to help with, and it's a really good way of getting involved.
You're on the Greens ticket.
Yep.
What are the key things that concern you in the municipality?
Well, most importantly, I think that we have to think about climate action now. We have to recognise that there is a climate catastrophe going on, and we have to mitigate as best we can a lot of the changes that we're going to see and that we're seeing already, whether that's natural disasters that are getting worse, storm surges that are getting worse. We've got to kind of prepare and also make sure we keep the community safe.
What does that mean in Kingborough, though?
Well, it's things like making sure that coastal remediation and environmental remediation, moving to 100% renewables as rapidly as we can, better public transport, changing our lives in meaningful, sometimes small and sometimes large ways to make sure that we're ready to deal with what is a rapidly changing world.
Because Kingborough is a complex municipality. It's partly rural. You've got tourism, the Bruny Island factor, that kind of thing. And then this strange township that's never quite taken shape.
Yeah. Look,
in terms of the people who live there and their experience of living there, what's your commitment to that?
In terms of the people living in Kingborough?
Yeah.
Basically, we all want to improve the material standards of living for all of the people of Kingborough, and we need to balance that with the urgency of taking action on climate. I'm always considering that, we have a Kingborough Council strategic plan and we've got a Southern Tasmanian regional land use strategy. There's already these mechanisms in place to materially improve the lives of people in Kingborough, and that's always my first priority, is to work collaboratively on the council with all the people who are already doing a remarkable job and working hard, the staff at Kingborough Council and all the other councillors. It's about working with them.
Do you get a sense that the council, because we've had a bit of, problems at Hobart City Council where you can see some divisions along ideological lines that are entirely predictable every time a vote happens and a bit tedious, I think for a lot of people who would like the councillors to be people. What's your sense of Kingborough Council in terms of ideology?
It's so important that everyone works together, that you don't go in there just thinking that you're going to tear up the book. You've got to work within the fiscal constraints and within the legislative constraints that you have, but also you have to work with a spirit of generosity and goodwill, and I feel like Kingborough's got that, and I certainly have that, and I'm going onto the council with that spirit of working together. Look, in any other circumstance, if you had a problem on your street, you wouldn't separate the street into two sides and start bickering about the problem. You would say, let's sit around the table and work together, look at the resources that we have and how we can overcome those obstacles together.
I think if you live on Ideal Street, that's what happens, absolutely. How far do your ambitions go? Do you have a vision for yourself?
Look, for Kingborough...
Are you our next Sue Hickey?
Our next Sue Hickey? Yeah. I wouldn't describe myself as our next Sue Hickey, but I would say that...
A man can only dream.
That's exactly right. We have to have bold vision, so I'm really interested in things like a federally funded, locally administered job guarantee. I'm really interested in things like ethical banking, community solar, municipal broadband. There's a whole lot of big, broad visions that I have and a plan to get there. But first and foremost, we've got exciting things in Kingborough, like Kingston Park, like taking action on climate change, like working within the constraints of the strategic plan. There's a lot to get done right away that's on my plate, but I also have, big, bold visions for what we can do in Kingborough.
And you had your first council meeting, within several hours of being elected. How was it?
It was amazing. I mean, it was such a rapid turnaround. I got elected at about 12:30, and then at 5:30 I was in the chamber. And it's a huge amount of reading that you've got to do. and a lot of background and context that you need to work on, but so many experts and supportive people in there, and also a real spirit of collaboration and goodwill, working together to get the best outcomes. We basically want to make good judgments that will help all of the people of Kingborough, and I also want to help the planet as well.
30-year-olds on councils, this is what it sounds like. There you go, fantastic stuff. Congratulations, and look forward to talking to you more in the future.
Thanks so much.
Gideon Cordover, they're newly elected to Kingborough Council and account back after Richard Atkinson's resignation.
On ABC Radio Hobart, it's Breakfast with Ryk Goddard.